Wanted me to do a video on the Amerimut meme, and I'm going to do it on the Amerimut meme, and I'm also going to do it on the concept of La Raza Cosmica, because somebody has accused me of having having some Thai or Malay blood in me, and that I'm, quote, not white enough. Now, what I want to get clear here is where does that come from? Well, as far as I know, I am white according to U.S. standards of what white is, okay? My mother's maternal line were Italian, or at least they said they were Italian, from Brazil, okay? Now, I wanted to do a 23andMe test. I actually still have the stuff to do it. It's just I ran into some financial issues and couldn't afford to do it. But the thing is, I have always suspected that my mother's maternal line were castizos or mestizos, because they have a little too much flavor to be regular Italians. Also, they look like Mexicans. So I was always doubtful of that. However, that's less than 25% of who I am. My mother was half Irish also, from Ireland. Okay, so she was Italian from Brazil and Irish from Ireland and born here. My father was Dutch, English, and German. So that's the story of my bloodline as far as I know. Now, what about the Amerimut meme? Well, the Amerimut meme, I always have had a problem. See, this is the problem with U.S. nationalists. U.S. nationalists do not understand that the European countries have always been the enemies of the United States and the other American nations. They have sought to exploit the American nations, exploit the natural resources, and the people, both the colonists and the native people of these countries, okay? And we are the native people of these countries. That's what people don't understand. The U.S. white and the mestizos and the castizos and all the other different types of people, even the African, the blacks, etc., we are the native people of these countries now. We are not Europeans. White people in the United States are not Europeans. We are, generally speaking, a conglomerate of many different European people. And there used to be a unique U.S. culture, and it was heavily influenced by the various cultures that came here. Not everybody that's now considered white was considered white. So if somebody wants to say, I'm not white, they can feel free to do that. My mother's, as I said, my mother was part Italian. Well, the Italian was supposed to be from Naples and Sicily. And everybody loves to say Sicilians are half black. No, they're half Arab. Look it up. Carthage was a Arab city-state, not a black city-state. Everybody thinks all of Africa is black. Egypt's not black. Tunisia's not black. Algeria's not black. These are not black countries in North Africa. And the Sicilians are not half black, they're half Arab, okay? And there was also a lot of intermixing between Arabs and the Mediterranean people, Arabs and different Italians, Greeks, etc. They were intermixing for many thousands of years prior to what's called the pre-Islamic era. And would I consider Italians to be white or Greeks to be white? I personally do not. I think that being white is something unique to Northern Europeans. I would not consider myself white. I appear white, but if you look at my brother, he's very, how you say, waptastic. Okay, he looks like an Italian, maybe I would say even something more like a mestizo, okay? But the thing is, what about the concept of La Raza Cosmica? Or the Cosmic Race by Jose Vasconcelos? The thing is, this is why the United States, in my opinion, was better and is better than Europe. What's funny is people like to talk about Amerimut. What about Euromut? Okay? What about the fact that the Europeans are letting people in from every third world nation on the face of the earth and intermixing with them and creating a mess in the European countries? Yeah, the former Soviet bloc countries are not as bad off, but they're not unflawed, okay? And then everybody wants to talk about the Finns, the Finns, the Finns. The Finns are basically Mongolian and other Slavic and, Eastern European people, or Lapps, I think. I have to look into that. I'm sorry, I might have misquoted myself. It's been a while since I've read a book on anthropology. I think they're Lapps, but they're white and Mongolian. Same thing with the Hungarians, okay? So the concept, and I'm going to leave a link showing there are not really any people of a pure race. I also don't consider Armenians to be white. I don't consider a lot of people that get the white card for whatever reason, they're now white. Like, for example, the dude that did the Garlic Festival shooting. He was an Iranian and an Italian. Iranians are Caucasian, but they're not white. White is a non-scientific term that is specific to Northern Europeans, okay? So it doesn't include the Southern Europeans, and it doesn't include Arabs and Persians, etc. Okay. Now, this has been a problem, an ongoing problem with white nationalism, is nobody knows who is white, okay? Because it's not a scientific term. The determination I found by white nationalists is if a chick is cute, they'll find a reason to make her white. If you see a hot Asian girl, you gotta find a reason to make her white. Okay, or you see a hot Hispanic girl, you gotta find a reason to make her white. There is such dishonesty among so-called white nationalists that it's a joke, okay? It's an outright joke. Now, what's funny is, there's a friend of mine that's not, quote, white, but yet, under her country standard, she's white. Now, what's funny about that is she cares more about white people than most white people do. And that's another problem, is white people, especially white nationalists, think that they're going to revive this massive surge of white pride. It's not there, okay? That's why I quit being a white nationalist. There's nothing there except a bunch of morons and the occasional nutcase that goes off from time to time. Another thing is, for example, Jared Taylor of American Renaissance and the New Century Foundation, he considers Ashkenazi Jews white. I don't. Most white people do not consider Ashkenazi Jews white. However, Jared Taylor does. Why? Because he has so much association with them. I think somebody said his wife and children are actually half Jewish, or his wife's Jewish and his children are half Jewish. There's no consensus on who is and isn't white. That's the biggest problem with that. Okay, and I don't think that. See, that's the thing is, the actual phenotype does not express the genotype. Okay. And that's the problem, is you have a lot of people misidentifying themselves as things they're not because they don't even know what they are. And if many people took a genetic test, which I do still plan on doing when I get the money together, they would find out that they are many things. That is how the human race works. I'm also going to leave a link to La Raza Cosmica, the playlist I made about La Raza Cosmica. There's 2 Spanish versions of the audiobook. I highly recommend people buy the book, The Cosmic Race by Jose Vasconcelos. And I also recommend people learn more about race in general, because it's very sad seeing how stupid people are in regards to this very important thing. And that's all for this video.